Hello everyone, my name is Diana Karamanova. I'm a senior commodity broker and analyst at Prospex Agro. Welcome to our new project, a series of short audio podcasts with Prospex Agro brokers. These conversations are shared for informational purposes only and shouldn't be treated as trading advice. Today we will talk about yellow peas market. Ukraine harvested one of its best pea crops in years, yet the 2025-2026 season turned into a paradox. Record supply, but sales are sticking. On top of that, from March 1st, 2026, China removes the 100% tariff on Canadian peas. What does this mean for Ukraine? An opportunity or a risk? Today we have Vlada Zhigulska, senior commodity broker at Prospex Agro. Hi Vlada, thank you for joining us. You work with the physical market every day, inquiries, specs, and most importantly, real bids and real demand. Let's break down the 2025-2026 yellow peas market. To start, Vlada, could you share your view on yellow peas market right now?
Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to start this series of short audio podcasts. Hope we will have more soon. Let's talk about yellow peas. If I keep it simple, on paper it looks bullish, but the market doesn't like hasty conclusions. Right now the key is to understand trade flows, freight dynamics and timing.
Okay, great, thanks a lot. Zooming out a bit, what role do peas actually play in Ukraine's agricultural market? Why should anyone beyond peas traders care?
Peas are a smaller crop compared to corn or wheat, but they're important in a few very practical ways. First of all, it's a rotation crop. It supports soil health and helps diversify farm risks. Second, it's an export-driven niche, so when flows open, it brings fast cash and improves on-farm liquidity. And third, peas sit inside the broader protein and feed complex, so shifts in soy meal or feed economics can quickly impact pea demand.
How different is this season versus last year? What changed in production and exports?
On production, the change is very clear. Harvested area increased from 212,000 hectares in 2024 to 275,000 hectares in 2025, and production jumped from around 470,000 tons to 672,000 tons. Yields are also improved. On exports for 2025-26, the expectation is 380, starting from 380 to 420,000 tons.
Well, how did we end up here? A big harvest, but exports are moving slower than everyone expected.
I believe the reason is that the harvest is the only half of the story. The other half is where the peas can actually go, at what price and with what quality. In 2025-26 we clearly got more supply, but exports slowed down in the first half of the season, and we built excess of volume on the domestic market. When there is a lot of products and not enough quick export windows, prices stay under pressure even if the global narrative feels supportive.
Who sets the tone globally in peas?
Two players shape the basis. This is Canada and Russia. Together they account for roughly 50-60% of global production. That is why any policy change, logistics shifts or pricing move from either side quickly impacts trade flows, including Ukraine's options.
Well, now we have the big headline. China removes a 100% tariff on Canadian peas from March 1st, 2026. Why is this a switch for the market? Explain please in simple terms why is removing the tariff such a big deal?
Because a 100% tariff is basically a block on the flow. Once China removes it from March 1st, 2026, Canada can immediately regain access to the biggest player in Asia. But it won't be automatic. Competition and pricing versus Russian supply will be critical. And we also have the broader protein complex context. Like cheap Brazilian soybeans, they also influence in feed decisions and price sensitivity.
Where is Ukrainian peas demand coming from right now? And what are buyers willing to pay?
The key destinations are still India, Pakistan, Turkey, and parts of the European Union. Plus, a growing interest in China as a potential outlet, but still Ukraine is waiting for the final accreditation from Chinese government. In contracts, buyers focus on very practical things: color and size, foreign matter, moisture, and one very simple factor: reliable execution and predictable logistics.
And in terms of pricing, what is the market willing to pay today, and what typically creates a premium versus a discount?
Pricing is very destination driven and depends on timing and quality. But as an example regarding containers, this week we saw demand to Karachi at 320-22 USD per metric ton from trading companies and a bit higher level from end buyers. Deals from Ukraine were done at around 322 per metric ton as well. Chittagong buyers are ready to pay at a bit higher level due to the more expensive delivery costs. However, we haven't seen any firm offers as freight difference is not making the price workable for buyer, and seller also realize this. If we're talking about containers to Nhava Sheva, India, sellers expect to get minimum 325-26 per metric ton USD, and buyers have bids at around 321-22 USD accordingly. Bulk handy vessels of Ukrainian yellow piece were heard to be offered at 325-330 per metric ton, with buyers' demand at 315-320, something like this per metric ton.
Okay, great. Vlada, if you had to sum it up in one message for the market, what would it be?
I believe that everyone involved should follow up the market and news regarding yellow piece every day and update the levels. This is based on the changes that countries may apply, like for example tariffs for Canada, accreditation by Chinese government for Ukraine, etc. Plus weather conditions and freight levels, they are also changing almost every hour, and it influences the market level. So being updated and ready will help us to match the levels that sellers and buyers are ready to offer and give more chances for the deals.
Thank you, Vlada, for your take on the yellow piece market. And that is actually all for today's short episode. If you trade piece or are looking for reliable execution and market guidance, reach out to Prospex Agro. We will share the latest buyer appetite by destination, workable specs, and logistics options. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.